Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a practical example of request memoization in Next.js. So according to Next.js documentation, if you send multiple fetch requests from the same component tree, then the first request will be sent to the backend and the return value will be cached. Later on, the cached value will be served for same request. Same request mean the URL and the option of fetch request has to be same. So now let's see a quick example. So here, as you can see, I have prepared a simple API. I'm running it on localhost. It's basically give me a random number. Right now it's 16. If I refresh, then it's basically giving me a random number between 0 to 100. And no matter how many times I refresh, it's basically giving me a random number. I have also prepared a simple Next.js application. Here I have the main page component, and this page component is basically rendering an H1, component A, and component B. And here is the component A and component B. I have also a helper function right here called getValue. This basically fetches the API that I have shown before, and I'm returning the value, which will give us a random number between 0 to 100. And I'm using this helper function within the page component and its child component as well, component A and component B. So here you can see I'm fetching the API 3 times, and this will run first, and it will be second, and will be third. And according to the documentation, this fetch will be cached, but these two will not send request. Rather, it will use the cached value of the first one. Technically, 3 values will be same. So now let's run our development server and see if this is giving us the same numbers. So let's run our development server using npm run dev. And I'll open it in my browser. So, well, here you can see it's giving us 3 different numbers between 0 to 100. But why is that? We're supposed to see 3 same numbers. If I refresh, it's basically giving me 3 different numbers, but it should not work like that, because according to Next.js documentation, it's supposed to give us same numbers in every same fetch requests. Well, this is happening because we are running a dev server. We need to build our application and run the production server, because the React memorization only works in production. So let's build our application and run the production server and see what happens. So I'm going to stop my development server and first let me build the application. npm run build. So the build is complete. Now let's run our production server. npm start. So I'm going to open our next application, my browser. So here you can see now it's giving us same number, because the first one gets cached, and for same fetch request, it will serve the cached value. So if I refresh, it's now working and giving us the same number. But why we need to understand React memorization? Because as a React developer, you should probably think that if you fetch the same request in multiple components multiple times, then it will send multiple requests to the backend. But it will not happen if you use Next.js. Next.js will send only one request during rendering a component tree or rendering a page, and it will serve cached value later on. So request memorization will work only with fetch because Next.js extends the fetch API. But if you want to cache something during rendering, then you can use React cache method. It will help to cache any complex or time consuming calculation. Here is an example of React cache function. You need to import the cache from React and you need to wrap your function within the cache method. So hope you understand the React memorization, how it works, and I have shown you a practical example of React memorization. If you go to Next.js documentation, you'll probably see there are 3 more caching mechanisms other than request memorization. I'll probably upload more videos explaining these caching mechanisms too. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned with the channel.